Tundras and Camrys ready for you to buy today. Classic Toyota on Tyler Boulevard on the Auto Campus in Menard or online at driveclassictoyota.com.
Welcome to the Sino Show. I'm your host, Sino McFarland. I'm an addiction specialist. I'm a coach, I'm a translator, and I'm God's middleman. My job is to crack hearts and let the light in and help everyone shift the narrative. I want to help you wake up, and I want to help you get free. Most importantly, I don't want you to feel alone. Listen to the Sino Show on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search the Sino Show and start listening.
Who needs broadcasting awards?
The I Like the Sound of My Own Voice award.
When you've won World's Sexiest Aunt 5 years in a row.
And the winner is
Alan Cox.
On 100.7 WMMS.
It was pointed out to me by people in the know that 757 that landed at Burke is probably carrying the San Diego Padres last night. I don't know if that's true, but it makes sense. Padres are in town tonight. Start up the series with the Guardians after the All-Star break has concluded, of course. Guardians start 58-37, doing very, very well. Padres are slightly above 500. So first of three tonight is a 7:10 start around the corner here at Progressive Field. Into next week, the Tigers will be here for a 4-game series there. You have the remainder of the month, by the way. You want to get yourself some new threads over at CLE Clothing Company. Use the promo code STAR for 20% off. Padres Guardians tonight on the Buzzard. First pitch at 7:10, so we'll roll out at 6:30, 6:40. Something is going to be your coverage will begin there. And also listen on the iHeartRadio app if you're so inclined. If you're watching us today, tip of the cap to Carbel Glimlock. That's a good one. Carbel with a K. Mm-hmm. I'm only familiar with Carbel with a C.
Yeah, he has non-traditional parents.
Oh, the Glimlocks?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Al, does your son think we've become too reliant on the internet? My cousin's an Army colonel, and he said their biggest security concern is cyber. I don't know that. Well, I mean, that ship sailed a long time ago, by the way. I don't know. I wouldn't speak for him, but I know you'll always have a job.
No, do it. Speak for him.
If you're in cybersecurity.
I say speak for him.
I can't.
You paid for his education.
What's that?
You paid for it.
Yeah, I sure did. He largely paid for his education with scholarships. I mean, I paid for the rest, but both my kids were fortunate enough to, they'll be coming out of college with practically no debt. So that's good for them. I do like to point out to them, though, at every possible instance that I just paid off my student loans 2 years ago, just to put it into perspective. But my daughter is going to be, will be moving her into her apartment in a few weeks. Mid-August we'll be doing that, and she'll be starting her junior year, unbelievably. And she'll be living in a house with 5 other girls, one of whom has the same name as her.
Whoa.
So I'm like, well.
Silly stuff's about to go down.
There's going to be some real Three's Company type mix-em-ups over there in East Lansing.
I'm here to take Grace out. Which Grace?
Which one? So I said, well, how are you going to figure the male out? I mean, forget all the other stuff. Forget all the mix-em-ups with boys. And, I mean, Bill,
they have different last names.
She's going to be a, huh?
They have different last names. I'm sure the male.
No, that's what I mean. They have the same last name.
Oh, they have the same.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Complete?
Not the same
name?
first name, the same first and last name.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's real.
Sorry, I was
Wild.
I left that part out.
Yeah.
No, same first name and last name. And listen, she's going to be a junior in college, Bill. I doubt there's going to be boys at the house.
Alan, see me after the show.
I don't want to think of it.
Be men.
I don't want to. No, God. Yeah, well. Listen, maybe it's genetic. I come from a long line of cradle robbers. I just do. My grandfather married someone considerably younger than him on both sides. My paternal grandfather, my dad's dad, I never met. He died when my dad was 15. But my grandmother was already the third wife, and she was considerably younger than my dad's dad. And then my maternal grandfather, he and my grandmother were married a long, long time, but she was like 16 years younger than him. And that was also way back, early 20th century or whatever. That was back when you were just looking for a gal with good birthing hips. And if they get too old, 20, 21, when they get decrepit back then, it's going to be different. So maybe it's a genetic thing. I don't know. But we'll see. If I find out that there are any professors hanging around this house, what the hell am I going to do? I don't know. I'm not there. Alan, I'm at O'Hare. We're only delayed 18 minutes. I just had an Italian beef. Man, I had an Italian beef the other night, and I haven't had one in a long time.
Where'd you get it?
We made it.
Oh, you guys made Italian beefs.
Real good. Real good. That's not something it's not a go-to all the time. I have friends that live on those goddamn things, and I mean, they're good. You can get them dry, you can get them wet. I don't know how this person did it.
Did you wet it?
I did not. I mean, the beef is wet, but then some people like to dip. They like the wet beef. I don't go for that. But people that watch The Bear, I'm sure the Italian beef sales have gone through the roof because of that show, The Bear.
Well, I mean, it was really a first season where they're doing the Italian beef. I know they still have the pop-up shop across the street that seems to be thriving. I wonder if that'll come into play. But you're not seeing as much of that in the second season and third season. Which I like the Italian beef season.
They're less focused on the wet beef.
Yeah, I like the wet beef.
And more focused on the fine dining part.
Wet beef?
Wet beef.
Have you ever had an Italian beef sandwich, Mary?
I don't think that I have.
They have them there in New York. It might surprise you to learn.
Isn't it just like peppers and onions and chopped beef?
Well, yeah, we use giardiniera. I think the peppers are different. We use giardiniera in Chicago, but I mean, a lot of other places they'll use, what are the other ones? The peppercini.
Oh.
No, what are the ones that they use? When I first left Illinois, I didn't realize
Banana?
Yeah, banana peppers.
Banana peppers.
When I first left Illinois, I didn't realize that every Subway didn't use giardiniera, and they were like, "We don't know what that is." I was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah. Alan, were there any elevators impacted? I don't know. Are there elevators working on Microsoft operating systems?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
My elevator.
I have no idea.
Where do they make elevators? In factories. It's a Chad Daniels joke. New special, Empty Nester, now on Netflix.
Hey. Is he calling in next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Monday, I believe.
You ever been stuck in an elevator?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
That would be my worst nightmare.
I got stuck in the elevator in my building during the pandemic, and my girlfriend at the time thought it was so funny.
Sexy.
So funny.
You were in there with her?
I was in, no.
Oh,
I was
see, it would have been more fun if you were in there with her.
I was in there with Whoopsie.
Yeah.
And Whoopsie just took a little nap. I was in there for about 45 minutes.
Why did she think it was funny?
Because she just thought it was ridiculous. Because she's like, I took the dog out, and then I was on my way back up, and she was waiting for me to come back up. And it's like the one time I didn't have my phone with me, and she's just like, what is taking him so long? And so she finally went to investigate, and she sees the fire department coming to get me out of the elevator, and she just found that to be hilarious.
Huh. But they didn't take you out in the big ladder or anything.
No,
they take you out on a
just
stretcher.
thought it was silly. It just,
Yeah.
That they have to get several firefighters to come and just open doors.
Yep.
She thought it was
They had to pry him open with the jaws of life?
I mean,
Like Terminator 2?
They had to open them up, yeah. But it was, I don't know, it was jaws of life. Just like an override, they have to push a button.
Oh, so not the jaws. They didn't have to pry them open.
No.
I see. Because I don't think those phones, a lot of times you'll go into an elevator and that phone doesn't do anything. And you go, how? And then you'll look at the inspection certificate and you'll go, they just inspected this 3 months ago. Why did the phone not do anything?
Our phones are always just talking to somebody. I think it's one of the phones in our elevators are on call lists, so they're getting spam calls all day.
Oh, really?
They're always going.
They're
very
ringing in
strange.
the cab?
They're not even
The
ringing.
elevator
They're just
thing?
like somebody talking.
Wow.
And then like the automatic elevator support system's talking back.
Huh.
Yeah.
I was stuck in an elevator the first radio station I worked for was in the John Hancock building, and we were on the 34th floor.
Herbie Hancock.
I'm sorry, we was in the Herbie Hancock building, and it was a real rocket ride up to the 34th floor is where the radio station was. And I went in on a Saturday to take care of some things that
Ride the Red Rocket to the 34th floor.
Yes, to catch up on, and the elevator stopped at the 17th floor.
Well, that's not far enough.
Well, I thought somebody was getting on. And so I was like, okay. And I stood there and the doors didn't open. And I was like, okay. Well, and my button was still lit for 34. I'm like, all right, well, it's...
My button's going to be lit after the show tonight.
Yeah! Mary, would you like to take that one?
No. I'm trying to listen to your story without Bill being
Well, I want to know how what button is going to get lit.
He doesn't even know.
I assume he
has no
knows.
idea what he means.
Oh.
What do you mean, Bill?
I'm going to get high and eat sushi.
That's your button?
Yeah.
Yes.
The sushi button.
Yeah. The sushi button. All right. You got to get high. You're going to order a lot of sushi. Sushi ain't cheap.
Oh, yeah, I know. I
right.
already ordered it.
You already ordered on the
Yeah.
Wendy's app? They do
Scheduled-
sushi now,
yes,
too?
Yes.
Just breakfast hours
Sushi
only.
Wendy's.
Breakfast sushi only.
I just ordered it on the restaurant's app and
All right.
scheduled it for when I get out of work.
All right, good.
I like to take care of stuff like that.
Good. Anyway, I was stuck on the 17th floor for 3.5 hours in an elevator
That
on a
sounds-
Saturday.
Did you pee?
Did I pee?
Yeah.
No, I didn't pee.
Okay.
Nope. But you do, because it was a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So you do reach a point where you go, holy cow, I might be in here until Monday morning.
Nobody's coming to get me.
Nobody's coming to get me. And so, I mean, and then you go, well, Saturday afternoon better than Friday night. I got, you're negotiating with yourself. But fortunately, the phone in that one worked. And they were like, okay.
But it still
be
took
there.
3 hours?
Yeah, 3.5 hours.
I have a reoccurring nightmare of getting stuck in elevators, but I don't know if you guys have reoccurring nightmares, but it's the same thing. And it's almost like my nightmare self can feel it. Like I know how this is going to go, where I am in a huge, really grandiose lobby, and there are hundreds and hundreds of elevators. And I have to they don't tell you which elevator actually takes you to your floor. You just have to keep trying elevators until it goes to the right floor.
This is a symbol for your life.
So, some of the elevators only go to odd floors. Some of them only go to floors that end in 7. Some of them, there's no rhyme or reason, and none of them are labeled. So, I have to figure out which elevator I'm supposed to be in. But the thing that happens every single time I get in the elevator is that they either shoot up super fast or it'll get to the top and then they fall. So, I'm, constantly being, thrown around by elevators where either I'm standing there and it goes to shoot up and the gravity throws me to the ground, or it's at the top floor
You hit
and
the
it
ceiling?
just
Do
falls.
you think this is a metaphor for your the way highs are high and lows are lows, especially with your addictive personality?
I don't know. Makes me get afraid of elevators. I'm
She
so
keeps pushing
scared.
that. She keeps pushing that sushi button, Bill, in the elevator.
And
It
it
didn't go
just
anywhere.
shows up.
Lit.
No,
I
it-
keep having.
So because of this recurring, I've probably had this nightmare for a few years now, that it happens once every couple months for a few years, that I am legitimately have a heightened level of anxiety in an elevator, because I'm this is going to be the one where once I get up to the 10th floor, it just falls down.
I have my reoccurring nightmares are I'm back in high school or church, but as me now, and they're like, you got to do it again. And I'm like, I don't want to. So that one, and then another one I've been having is I'm driving, but it's when you're trying to run in a dream and I'm trying to drive in a dream and I can't drive fast and I can't merge into traffic. And then my doors keep opening. Very panic inducing.
Yeah.
You're trying to drive and your doors keep
Yeah,
opening
it's
on your
open,
car?
so I'm trying to reach across to close the door. And then I'm
Oh.
trying to focus on the road and be a safe driver, but it's not accelerating fast enough, or it's just, it's weird. You can't turn.
You think that's a subliminal message that you need to change up your auto insurance?
No.
Oh.
I'm happy with my auto insurance.
Hey, I've got money here for you. It is $1,000, as promised, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie, the first of 4 chances you'll have this afternoon. So listen closely and good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Check. That's check. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Hello, Judy.
Hello, guys. Hello, Mary.
What's up, Judy?
Hey, I was just going on that Microsoft Cyber thing.
Yeah.
I was at Tractor Supply in Solon today, and there was this obnoxious noise. Sounded like the alarm, but I didn't know. I walk in, and lady's like, don't worry about that. It's our alarm. We're not taking emails. We're not doing anything because of the cybersecurity. So it affected Tractor Supply.
Oh, I thought you were going to say... I thought you were going to say you heard this obnoxious noise in the Tractor Supply, and you're like, hey, they're listening to the Alan Cox Show.
Yeah, right. Oh, they must have it on repeat. What were you at Tractor Supply to pick up, Judy?
Guys. Take the show.
What were you there to pick
the
up?
Show.
Okay.
Actually, I was picking up a cap for a Yeti.
Oh, okay. I'm being trolled all of a sudden. All right, well, good. And you found it?
I did. I just want to let you know, though, there apparently are a lot of people being affected by this Microsoft. And would you have thought that it would have been their alarm? No. And would the woman have responded that way? No, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff. I also heard that there was a lot of places that retail that are not taking like credit cards or certain things.
Oh, yeah.
Only Apple Pay.
Yeah, there's places that have handwritten signs on their window that says, hey, we're not open right now. Our systems are down. Okay, thank you, Judy. I got to get over to Tractor Supply. I got to get myself a new dump cart. Carry things around when I'm doing work in the yard. Alan, I got stuck on the 86th floor of the Empire State Building.
Nope.
Entire State Building.
I got stuck on the 86th floor of the entire State Building. Don't remember how long we were stuck, but it was quite a while. We didn't die. Now, in your dream, are you in your muscle car?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So there's little kernels of true life in there then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alan, my dad was an elevator mechanic based in the Merchandise Mart. That's where my old radio station was. He was on call on the weekends. Well, there you go. Norm from Detroit says, you should know better than anybody. It would be Italian beeves. All right, thank you.
Good point.
Alan Calvin can't listen to the podcast from a few days ago. I was talking about dog names. Big fan of human names. The last 3 dogs we've had have been Frank, Norm, and we currently have Doug. All incredibly stupid dogs and gigantic pains in the ass. Anyway, love you. Bye.
Doug the dog. I mean, that's just adding a vowel.
Mm-hmm. I like Norm a lot.
Norm's good. Norm the dog.
Norm the dog is really funny.
And you kind of have to, I think part of it is tailoring it to the dog, but not in a spot-on way. If you have a big, dopey-looking dog and you name him Norm, you go, yeah. But if you have like a smaller dog and you name him Norm, for some reason, that just hits different for me.
Mm-hmm.
The family of I got this from one of our Kentucky bureau chiefs who listen on iHeartRadio. The family of a 76-year-old Kentucky man got $2 million because he died from 2nd and 3rd degree burns from the shower at an Econo Lodge.
Ooh.
The hot water was 150 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, my gosh.
And he kept showering in it?
He turned on the shower and was immediately struck by extremely hot water that knocked him to the floor while the water continued to burn him. The 2 people who were there with him heard his screams, removed him from the tub, and he had to go through extensive skin grafting.
Okay.
Because he had deep tissue, 2nd and 3rd degree burns. That's the thing with, this is an Econo Lodge, but even in like nice hotels, you know, you get in the shower, it's like you turn, some of these places, you turn it just the slightest bit and it's scalding hot. You go the slightest bit the other way. There's no way to regulate it, and it's ice cold.
But who gets in and then, you don't
I know.
set the temperature and then get in?
Nope, he's an old man, 76.
That's wild to me to think that you're just like, I'm just going to turn it up and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, that's
You got to reach your hand in and feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You fiddle with the knobs until you get it right.
Right. Like when I come home, I'll go to the gym in the morning. When I come home, I'll take a cold shower, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just put it all the way to the right. I don't even mess with it. All the way to the right. But if you want to take a shower, some people like it super hot. I'm not one of those people. I like it warm, but, you know, if you could do that, you got to regulate it. And so you put your hand in. You go, ooh, is this where I want it? Is this where I not want it? This guy didn't do that. Got in, turned the water on. He spent several months in the hospital and then died. Dang. He never married. He had no kids. So his niece filed the lawsuit. Imagine that. No wife, no kids, but you're in his family. And you're like, well, so his niece is rich from him. I mean, for them, financially, this is the greatest thing this guy ever did, was stand in front of 150-degree water.
Oof, right in your face, dude?
Yeah, and then you fall down. Yeah.
Then you got to see your naked uncle.
Right, that too.
And listen, I look at my naked uncle if it meant I got rich.
But you don't know you're going to get
$2
rich.
million. No, you don't.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
But if it didn't mean I was getting rich, that wiener, Unc.
Yeah. The defense claimed that the guy didn't even stay at the motel, which what the hell does that have to do with anything? But he still died from 150-degree burns. And, you see your naked, wet, screaming uncle. And to hear an old person scream, I mean, that's blood-curdling, too. If you've ever heard, this guy was 76. Does that qualify as elderly? I think of elderly as 80 and up, if you're lucky enough to live that long, okay? But if you've ever heard an old person scream or yell, it's terrifying. Because you don't know what they're seeing. They could be ready to die, right? They could be seeing, I don't believe in the other side, but they could be seeing the other side. They could be seeing something. The Grim Reaper at the foot of their bed or at the bottom of a scalding hot shower. So the family gets $2 million. After the break, I'm going to have tickets for you to see the Cleveland Orchestra out at Blossom. They do a lot of good work out there. And the first weekend in August, they're going to be scoring The Lord of the Rings. Play the iconic score from that film. They're doing 3 nights at Blossom. I will get you 4 tickets for the August 3rd performance. 35192 to text, and we'll be back.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. Rover's Morning Glory.
Peter thinks it would be easy to live on $25,000 a year. You just get a cheap apartment, you say?
I'm looking in Willoughby here. Okay. Under 900, not a single place.
Oopsie.
Okay, under 800.
Rover's Morning Glory.
Weekdays on 100.7 WMMS.